I'm Alan Watt, and this is Cutting Through the Matrix on the 23rd of July 2008. Newcomers look into cuttingthroughthematrix.com, and you can go through lots of previous talks I've given, which help put the histories of the ages together for you to show you how this reality is constructed, who guides it, and where it's supposed to go, with the cooperation of us, of course, always following it on. And also look into alanwattsentientsentinel.eu for transcripts which you can download and print up and pass around to your friends, and they're done in the various languages of Europe. I could talk about so many of the stories that are mainstream tonight, but I'm trying not to, because they're put out there for us to talk about. And I always give the analogy of the rats in a cage in a laboratory, and before 8 o'clock in the morning they wake up and they start talking about what's going to be done to us today. Will they shock us? Will they put implants in our head and shock us and make us move in certain directions? Will they inject us with things and watch us as we writhe and do all odd kind of things? That's how the public are. We're in a form of cage where the media means middle, remember. Their job is to pass on the reality to you at the bottom. And we chatter about it between ourselves and complain, as expected, we're supposed to do. They can't do that to us, and we watch it happening over and over, as they do it to us over and over. And the people keep voting the same farce back in, time after time. The same democracy, you don't really vote a new party in. You're so disgusted and sick of the last lot, you're voting them out. That's really what happens. The corruption reaches an open level, and we can't stand them anymore. But it doesn't make any difference, because they're just fronts for an agenda which has been published long ago, many times over, by big foundations and think tanks, showing you the direction that you're going in. Even the Council on Foreign Relations has its own magazine, telling you, basically, where you're going. Foreign policy, long-term strategy, home and abroad. And yet the public still look at the news to see what they're going to do to us now, hoping it's something different. Well, each time you bend down, you find it's just the same. And so tonight I'm going to go into some of this reality and how it's created for us, and the techniques that are used to give us different versions, upgraded versions of Plato's cave. And that's a good place for us to start, because Plato gave a description of how people brought up in a cave, who were basically fixed in one position, could only see towards the back of the cave, had a whole philosophy of reality based upon the shadows that came from the light behind them and projected onto the walls of the cave. And everything about the reality had to fit the cave, had to fit into the cave, and the structure of the cave, and everything they knew about the cave. And one day an insider broke out into the big wide world, traveled it, came back and tried to give them reality, and they turned on him. They didn't want to hear it. It upset their whole paradigm. So they want to kill him, you see. And that's what you have today. Truth hurts. Truth is very, very painful. Especially the truth about how we've all been conned our whole lives, and our parents before us, down through the last few hundred years at least. Back with more after this break.